Welcome back to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the uploads. Today's video is actually another book recommendation. I'm going to try and bring this regularly to the YouTube channel. This book is literally probably the first self-help book I ever purchased. And I purchased it when I was like 14, maybe 15, and I needed it so badly. My transition from a very small Catholic school to an all-boys Catholic high school wasn't an easy one. I just was not in a good place. And a lot of people probably didn't even realize that. But it was when Oprah had launched her, spiritual part of her talk show that I really connected with something bigger than myself. And I was connected to an author and spiritual advisor and teacher that I, till this day, love and adore and follow and read her books. Iyanla Vanzant. The very first book that I ever purchased from Iyanla was this one. One day my soul just opened up, and I love it because you can start anywhere in this book and just take a principle. Every day it's 40 days and 40 nights towards spiritual strength and personal growth. I have all kinds of highlights and bookmarks. There were so many principles. Can you imagine being 13, 14, 15 years old, reading this book, trying to gain concepts and ideas that even 40-year-olds probably don't even know or are aware of? I didn't realize it till this very moment. I was like, wow, I was really young reading this book, but it really helped me. It was the beginning of my own spiritual journey. And I still refer back to this book a lot of the times because, as I said before, like with the 4 agreements, you learn something and sometimes you need to relearn it and relearn it and relearn it. But I wanted to share this book with you just in case you haven't. I've read a couple of Iyanla's books, and I'll share some of them here at a later date. But this was the very first one that I ever got of hers. And the reason why I got it is because I saw her on the Oprah show, and she just really spoke to me. She really changed the way that I thought and spoke words, and how important those thoughts and words are and how it makes you feel. And as I said before, I've highlighted so many different areas of this book. And it just like day 17, honor others with boundaries. I'm just going to randomly go through this book. Day 25, when you feel disappointed. And then she gives you a working definition. She goes into what she's talking about for that particular day. But then there's actually a journal area. And then you're able to, I haven't done it within the book. I would do it on, because, look, I want to, just in case I want to go back and work on this. So I did it on a separate piece of paper. But she gives you work, at the end of each chapter to kind of work for yourself. And I love that. And then she would give you, let me remember, just certain things, highlights from that particular day. And that was something that you would work on for that day. And I can't tell you the amount of times I would just kind of come back to this book and just go to a particular section and talk to myself about like, okay, I needed this reminder. And one of the ones that I really wanted to talk about was day 17, honor others with boundaries. The principle we are working with today is boundaries. They are mental, emotional, or physical constructs that define or limit the area in which one is willing to be present, the space or area in which one works, lives, desires to be. And then she goes into, the concepts. And one of the highlights that I did, when you don't have boundaries in your life, people will inject themselves into places in your life where you do not want them and where they have no business being. It's probably one of the most important sections that I read in this book in regards to boundaries. And maybe I'll do a separate video on certain days that really spoke to me and we can elaborate on that. But I wanted to share this book with you today, just because if you have not read Iyanla's book, One Day My Soul Just Opened Up, she tells stories in here. And even with Iyanla, Iyanla had a falling out with Oprah many years ago before they came back together and started working on OWN. A spiritual advisor had to go through it again. You know what I mean? She had to go through her own concepts and ideas. And just when you think someone's enlightened, they have to learn. I think learning stops when you die. So you need to forgive yourself if you've gone through a journey of spiritual awakening and you make a misstep. You do something that you used to do before your spiritual awakening. Forgive yourself first and understand that learning does not stop. Learning stops only when you die. But let me know, have you read One Day My Soul Just Opened Up or one of your favorite Iyanla books or self-help books? Let's talk about it in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow.